Hey guys, welcome back to Show Me How Beauty. Today I am doing a full-on dramatic smoky eye, something that generally you'd wear out to like a nightclub or a time when you sort of want to be your most glamorous. Some people might wear this during the day, but for the majority of girls this would be something that you'd wear out at night. I'm going to pair this today with the strobing effect. I just wanted to cover this for you guys because it's been the word has been thrown around a lot, but really it's just an intense highlight. So I've got a little bit of tape here. This is actually double-sided tape, but it does the same job, but I like how it has like a smooth side to it. With your little piece of double-sided tape, you want about this much length, and you want to run it really from the corner of the eye toward the brow. I'm going to leave a little bit of space near the eye there because we want to get colour there as well. We don't want it to be completely blank. So depending on your face shape, the angle of this can change, but for me, that's probably like the best angle. So really the trick is to get them the same because our face is not actually symmetrical, so they might be in the same position exactly, but because your face is different, it might look different. So just try and have it so it's on the same angle and you've got the same amount of room underneath the eye. Because I'm more on the tan side of life, I'm going to take Groundwork from MAC. It looks a little bit darker in the pot, but it sort of sets to a nice sort of brown, mid-brown tone, and it's also good for keeping your makeup on. So I'm just going to take that all over and sort of leading up to the brow. And the good thing about the tape is, see I've got it on the tape, that's what the tape's there for. So you can blend it quite high. I'm using some shadows from the Natural Born Cosmetics palette that I have, and I will link where you can buy these online because they're really affordable but awesome at the same time. And I'm just taking a mixture of this real orange colour and this mid-brown colour. I'm just going to run that through the crease pretty much. You don't have to be too sort of neat with it or anything because we are going for a full-on smoked out effect. So, you know, even if you take the product quite high, it won't be a problem as long as everything's blended. Now these colours are a preference of mine. I prefer the warm tones through the crease. That's just my preference. But if you're someone that likes the real cool tones, you can definitely take more of a grey colour through the crease. A really good option for a grey tone transition colour would be Copper Plate from MAC. So I'm just building up that crease. Slowly. I'm just going to grab a small shading brush and I'm taking that orange tone directly in the crease. So we're just sort of trying to keep it a little bit more central now, not as high. I'm taking a black coal from Dior. You can use any eyeliner that you like that will smudge, so more of a kohl texture. Like a long wear one is a good option, but at the same time if it sets really quickly, it's going to be harder to work with in terms of pressing pigment on top of it or pressing like a black shadow on top. So try and go with something that, you know, has a bit of time to set. Now I'm just running this along the base of the lash line and onto the mobile lid. Now, just taking it over the mobile lid like that, not too high because we will blend it. It's quite black, which is what we want. Now we're just going to take like a dense bullet brush and we're going to blend this black. So you might have to start off just sort of patting it to sort of move any of the pigment, but just work with it slowly. Don't get stressed. You might, you know, start to worry, but it's actually always a good idea to practice these types of looks when you're not going anywhere. So, you know, if your boyfriend or your family or whoever is watching sport on TV and you don't like it or something like that, you can always practice the makeup looks. Now I'm just going to go in with that brush that I had the orange, or that deep brown orange shade on. I'm just going to blend that top edge because we don't want it to go too high and we don't want it to be too chunky. So that's why I'm just doing it like that. So I'm going to go back in with a bit more of the eyeshadow just along the lid. Well, it's not eyeshadow, the eyeliner. I'm really just pressing it on in the areas where you want it to be quite intense. So all over the mobile lid, and then sort of drag it out a bit onto the corner here because we're blending out there anyway. And just the same again, just with that bullet brush, but really just blending that edge. So not dragging it out too much. Sometimes it's really just like patting it Next, I'm going in with a little bit of the Eye of Horus black eyeliner, and I'm just going to run that along my top waterline. Now you might ask why I'm using this one instead of the other one. Just because this one is like a long wearing kohl pencil that I know works well in the waterline. The other one is more of a kohl that moves around a little bit, so it might not be as long lasting. Make sure to really smudge it into your lash line, because that's where people might see shadow that's not really that black. So you might be able to see if you've got blonde hairs or anything like that. Really smudge it in. Okay, so at this stage I'm going to take these off. Just be gentle on the skin and just gently. I looked at all my blacks and tried to work out which one was the most black, and I think this black here is from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and it is my blackest black. You'll notice that a lot of blacks look very blue on the face, which can be really annoying. So yeah, this is my blackest black. You go with your blackest black, but always make sure to tap it off. Because we've cleaned up under the eyes, we'll be fine. Like we have nothing on there, so any fallout we can clean up. It's fine. And I'm just going to press this onto the lid. We want it to be blackest on our mobile lid, obviously. And this is a really nice black. And then as you get to that outer edge, just start to feather it up a little bit. If you feel like you have a problem with blending, then leave your tape on. Just going back in with my blending brush from earlier, and I'm just really going to blend that top edge. At this stage, it's a good time to look straight ahead and see where your colour is even and where it's not. So I'm seeing at the moment that I've got a little bit of colour a little bit higher here than I have here. So I'm just going to even them up a bit. And to do that, I'm just going to take that little bullet brush I was using earlier, take a tiny bit of that black, and just run it through. Just gently. Lastly, I'm just going to take a little bit of that medium brown and orange that I used in the beginning, and I'm just going to blend that top edge just gently. So just cleaning off any of that black. Be really careful in that outer edge. Anywhere. So we are going for that strobed out, beautiful, glowing, like really glowing skin. So we're going with our MAC Fix Plus just to prep the skin, get the glow happening. Next we are taking our Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector. Today I'm using the Dior Skin Star Foundation. This is actually one of my favourite foundations, and it's in the colour 40 because I'm more on the brown side. Now it does have like a a satin finish, I'd say, but it has a bit of a radiance to it. So I'm just applying this with a brush, and then I'm going to press it in further with a sponge. You just apply whatever foundation you have at home. If you're looking for a new one, this is a really good foundation. I really like it. I haven't used this concealer in a while, but I'm using the LA Girl Pro Conceal in Creamy Beige, and it's quite a nice HD concealer. So I really like to highlight and contour my face because it's so big. I like to really see the different areas and the different curves and shapes in the face, and you really get that effect through highlight and contour. I'm using a beauty blender for this activity. To prevent any creasing under the eye, I'm taking a little bit of the banana powder from Ben Nye, and I'm just going to use my beauty blender to press that underneath the eye. It'll stop any creasing pretty much straight away. But we don't want to use too much powder because we want to really have the skin looking quite dewy. So we're now going to go back in with our Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector. So I'm just patting it on like this. Now I'm going to take my sponge and just, now you can layer it as you like. It's pretty handy to do it with a sponge though, because then you're not getting those fingerprints. And we go all the way around, and maybe a little bit on the nose and the sides of the nose, because that's the look. Now the next step would be to pop a little bit just above the brow bone. I do find it's easier to apply it with your finger and then give it a little bounce with the sponge. The Face Stockholm highlighter in the colour Dignity. So I'm just going to press this. As you can see, it adds another level of highlight. And we're going to do the same with the sponge. you can see. This is the Milk Chocolate Soleil light medium matte bronzer, just down the side of the face. And then I'm going to go in with the darker shade from the same product, so it's the medium deep matte bronzer. This is me being a little bit like, you know, if you have different colour bronzers at home, use them. If you only have one, just use one. But you know, and I'm just gently running. I'm taking this luminous cream blush in the colour Tropical Glow from Youngblood, taking that on a pointed powder synthetic vegan brush from Designer Makeup Tools, and I'm just going to press that on, but sort of keeping it. Just going back to the Eye of Horus eyeliner that I was using before, and I'm going to run that through my bottom waterline. Now I'm going to take that brush that I used earlier to press that black eyeshadow on. I'm going to just tap it really hard to make sure there's not really much left on. And then I'm going to use it with the, see how it's just on one side of the brush and not the other side really? I'm going to use it with this black side facing up. So most of the pigment really is on the other side, the top side. And I'm just going to run that really close to the lashes. I'm going to use a small brush with a little bit of that orange and brown colour that I put through the top half of the eye. I'm going to use a tiny brush and just blend a little bit of that on the bottom half, but the bigger the brush, the lower it's going to become, so just be mindful of that when you're using whatever brush you use. See, I've just brought that a little bit lower, and I've also blended in a little bit of that colour compared to this. So I'm just taking a little bit of the Colossal Volume Express Mascara. This is like one of my favourites for ages. So a little bit of that, and then we're going to pop some lashes on. So if you've got really blonde eyelashes, this is a really important part for you. Make sure to get every eyelash, get it all black, and maybe even go in with a bit of like liquid eyeliner right on the seam of the lashes, just to make sure everything's really black. These lashes from Model Rock. Don't worry, this glue will dry clear, and we will pop a bit of eyeliner on top, so don't stress. Just going to grab a little brush and just blend away that mascara. I'm using the nude lip liner from Revlon. So over the top of that Revlon lip liner, I'm going to go in with Kimchi Doll from Gerard Cosmetics, which is a really, really pretty nude colour. So I'm going to go with Fashion Punch from MAC. It's a lip gloss. So thanks for watching today, guys. I hope that you have enjoyed this blown out black smoky eye. I love it. It's always fun to do something like really dramatic and out there. So yeah, if you did enjoy, please give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below letting me know what you think about smoky eyes, if you're into them or if you're not, because I can always do something that's a little less, you know, dramatic and a little bit more pared back a bit. So yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys, and I'll see you next time and Show Me How Beauty. Bye.